originally in Spanish. Swaruu of Erra. Earth. The next planet is Earth. I don't know how to talk about Earth without it being a monumental subject.
Talk about Earth as if Gosha and I were from Venus, and explain to us what Earth is like from the point of view of a race like yours or the Federation.
I don't know what to answer without it becoming a book rivaling the Encyclopedia Britannica. Seriously. Okay. Earth is a planet composed of several layers of densities, all intertwined in disarray and with a number of species living on each, apparently separated by densities, yet interacting or affecting each other. The dominant species on Earth is the Kingu, but even within the Reptilian Hierarchy, there are other species influencing and controlling the Kingu, by far the most numerous. Those other species are the Usungal, the Naga, and the Draco, as ones with the highest rank. Yet they are separated into three major clans: Vlash, Vlad, and Vril. They control the Earth, although they themselves are being controlled by other races that are not necessarily inhabiting the Earth, Draconians. After them, we have intra-terrestrial races, such as the Agarthian, also known as the Vulcan race, or volcanic intra-terrestrial, from which comes the concept of Vulcans in Hollywood, which in itself sells them by diverting people's attention to Mars because of the morphology and color of their supposed planet. The Agarthans are in trouble now, mostly by the reptilian races, although many colonies are hiding deep inside the Earth and with a higher density, since the matrix controlling the planet being emission of high-energy electromagnetic waves, it has problems crossing large barriers of matter, layers of the Earth crust. Therefore, so-called fifth density and other higher densities of consciousness, of some beings as well, dominates there. There are a number of beings on Earth, depending on which density. I will not name them because there are so many, but they are the ones that appear in the sagas of elves, trolls, hobbits, fairies, mermaids, tritons, among others. The Earth is hollow, but not in its entirety. But it does contain large internal vaults, intertwined with large natural and artificial tunnels in smaller quantities. It contains animal and plant life with tectonic and photoluminescence illumination. In part, it can be called an inner sun without being a sun. The shape of the Earth is like a toroid with holes at the ends, the one at the North Pole smaller than the one at the South Pole, and it is non-uniform in shape. That is, it is irregular, not perfectly spherical, exaggerating the scale with bumps and protrusions on one side and hollows or sinks on others. This also causes a non-uniform gravity when viewed from above. Planet Earth is under a matrix imposed by frequency manipulation technology, mostly for population control. Its satellite, the Moon, is not natural. It is a medium-sized spherical spacecraft, discarded due to combat damage during the Tiamat Wars 12,500 years ago. In parentheses, note that we are in the year circa 1721 and not in 2019. Why are we in 1721? In the year of 700 or so, lands were disputed around the Vatican's zone of influence, mostly Italy. By seniority of possession, some disputed to be their owners, so those with power in the Vatican claimed that the year was 1000 and not 700. This in order to appropriate them. As at that time they did not count and did not have how to count the years right, normal people were easy prey. It was also used as a distractor, claiming that the year 1000 AD was coming, and the end of the world, the return of our Lord Jesus Christ, yada yada. And it has stayed that way. They added 300 years that do not exist. It is estimated that the actual date may be the year 1719, but it could be as late as the 21. It depends on when was the year 0. That in itself is another problem because nobody agrees, and this because it did not happen. I think the logical date is 1719 by rounding off 300 years. Forget 1721, although it also has a basis. Then 2012 of the Mayan calendar has not arrived yet, as little as this date could mean. True, they only calculate the year, but the Mayans did not use the Catholic calendar, so other modern people have calculated it.
How can it be known when a planet like Earth is already invaded or colonized without its inhabitants being aware of it? I understand that the Earth has been colonized for about 12,500 years, and the citizens take as normal certain patterns of behavior that would otherwise indicate that we are already colonized, such as currency, religion, and governments.
Rather, the Earth has been colonized for 40,000 years, 12,500 with this lunar matrix configuration alone. Apart from piecing together clues and information, thinking outside the box, the normal citizen cannot know. While from one point of view they are invaded, from another, that of the people who still believe in everything official, they are not invaded because that is their reality, the Newtonian world. From the inside, it is not easy to know. It is necessary to have a parameter of comparison that they do not have, or few have.
And the AI is in all of the solar system, or only on Earth because it is 3D?
Again, the AI has layers, and you would have to define them. Moon control of frequencies is something unique to Earth. And there is AI outside the Earth. It is everywhere. But regarding the one that controls the Earth, it is only found there. It would be necessary to define what type of AI. Going back to 3 factions or clans, you mentioned Vril. Does it have to do with the Vril society? Vril and the Vril Society. The Vril Society was the one that was the link between the reptiles of that faction and the human puppets or relatives of these, that is to say, the Nazi. The Vril reptiles were the ones who were manipulating the Nazis underneath, with Hitler as the organic portal. All Vril, Vlad, Vlash are related and work in coordination with each other, but some are stronger than others in various parts of the world.
Can Earth be called the reptilian human farm or the planetary prison of the Federation? Which name would be more appropriate?
It is not a Federation prison planet. Prison or prison planet, that is only from one point of view. They don't send anyone to Earth as punishment.
But it is a reptilian farm, isn't it?
It is used as a human farm by the reptiles, yes, but the souls enter on their own and stay because of mind control. Mars. Mars is another book. It is a planet whose surface contained a major planetary civilization, Lyrian base, completely devastated by Tiamat's wars 12,500 years ago. Ruins remain all over the surface. Contains breathable air but with less oxygen than on Earth. Comparable to trying to breathe on a high mountain range over 4,000 to 5,000 meters. It is possible, but with difficulty, and respirators are sometimes necessary. But you can get used to that altitude. Mostly desert surface with wooded areas, with scrubland on most of the surface. Contains lakes and rivers, some dry, others active. Volcanic activity present and strong, always a factor, as well as multiple earthquakes. Contains much wildlife on the surface, but not even close to how it was before the war. Mars is inhabited by 3 dominant species and is divided into 3 heavily militarized sectors. They contain strips of several kilometers of mines, machine gun nests, killer robots, electrified barbed wire, motion sensors, plasma turrets, and the like. The 3 species are reptiles using human containers working for the Cabal on Earth. Humans, families of said reptiles working for them. They move by portal almost exclusively from Dumb on Earth to Dumb on Mars, exactly as shown in the movie Doom. This area is an advanced military base, area of presence of US Marine Space Force, bastion of the Cabal SSP. Cabal base farthest from Earth at this time. Next sector is dominated by Maitre, or High Grace. Negative invasive or regressive species allied with the reptilians in control of terrestrial Cabal, although they are known to fight among each other all the time. They can't agree. Zero empathy. They take feelings as weakness. Maitre is a race of the secondary type, which is manufactured by another. It was a failed bio-experiment by the Draconians to amalgamate their genes with those of some Zeta Reticuli race, resulting in a much larger and stronger species of Greys, with the peculiarities of cruelty and coldness of both species. They got out of control, dominating the planet after killing their Draconian, not Alpha Draconian, creators. Shortly thereafter, a Lyrian expedition landed there.
But how do these Mitrae reproduce?
They reproduced by test tube or cloning only. The Lyrians encountered problems with that species, which at that time had not yet organized. As the Lyrian expeditionary ship had many problems and many casualties among the crew, they got out of there, and no one bothered to look for the Mitrae afterwards, until it was too late. Now they have spread throughout Zeta Reticuli and have made alliances with the regressive races of Sauroid origin. They have come to this solar system with the largest forward base located on Mars. They are also found on Earth in dump bases mostly, as in Dulce, New Mexico. The next sector is dominated by a species of insectoid origin called Aethian mantis. They call themselves neutral, but are more of a problem than something neutral. They have starseeds on Earth, like the well-known Simon Parkes, among thousands of others. They are not really or objectively negative, but they just follow their agendas and think very differently than the other races or those in the Federation. They have a hive mind and a queen who dominates others. They are dangerous and do not hesitate before killing. They are not all love, as people are told they are, but they also contain that side. They know they have to be very strong and aggressive when sharing a planet with two other hostile species. As with so many other species, they are not all as they are talked about in various places. They are also invasive, like ants. They defend themselves and step over those who get in their way. They can justify their actions with metaphysical arguments conveniently altered to their needs.
Are they interstellar? I also have several questions about the face of Mars and all of those Cydonia ruins, and whose artificial satellites are on Mars.
The Mitrae are interstellar, yes. Satellites on Mars, of multiple races, including human cabal. Also mantis, they are interstellar. Colossal face of Mars. It was part of the civilization destroyed in the Great War of Tiamat. There are also pyramids everywhere, used as zero-point power plants. Ruins, they are all over the surface. In several areas, there are major concentrations.
But where did the Mitrae get their technology from? And what degree of consciousness do they have to pilot these ships?
It was donated by the Draco for the Mitrae to be their servants, but that did not go as they planned. Low degree of consciousness. Their ships need star portals, wormhole. They cannot modify and shape the ether like more advanced races do, like us.
Okay, thank you very much. What political system do the Mars reptiles, the Mantis and Mitrae have? I guess None of these 3 races are holographic.
Mantis, hive mind, queen and family. Below all the others. Maitre, invasive hive mind, pyramidal power organization. Reptiles of Mars, 7-level pyramidal, as on Earth, because they are the same. Then they are interstellar but of lesser degree, because it has been said that to be interstellar you have to have high spirituality. Yes, I have said that. These races use propulsion and star portals. This is not being fully interstellar, and they don't have warp hyperspace like we do.
Thank you. 7 levels?
7 levels or social strata, from highest power, cleric, military, corporate nobility, workers. I don't have the names right now. Okay, so there was the Mars-Lyrian race and it was devastated. Yes. And so there are no more native Martians? The race is dead? There are no more natives. Exterminated all by those 3 races. And the souls? What do you think happened to them? Did they go to the source and wherever? All over the cosmos, as you would expect.
I'm sure they ascended in the absence of the Van Allen belts.
Yes. It is possible that we have people here with this experience in their past lives. Yes, many are known to be on Earth.
And the regressive reptilians who die on Mars, where do their souls go?
They go wherever their personal frequency dictates, as with everyone else. As a final comment, there is no robot on Mars. They lie to you through their teeth. That is theater. What they see and the rocks they look at with a magnifying glass are either on Canada's Devon Island or in the Mojave Desert. They don't launch anything to Mars. It's all done by portals. They are brainwashing people.